Paying less tax while putting money away for your retirement sounds like a no-brainer. So let's explore what options there are for you to be doing this and figure out whether you should or shouldn't be doing it right now. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Reese. In today's video, we are talking about what salary sacrificing is and whether you should or shouldn't be doing it to get ahead for your future. Let's begin at the very end. What do you need at retirement to be able to live out the rest of your days comfortably? Now, this will vary depending on your lifestyle and your location into where you live, but it's something that you need to be thinking about even now because you can prepare for it in a way that will allow you to live that comfortable life when the time comes. To paint the picture, let's do a quick but realistic estimate as to how much you would need to live the bare bones minimum for the rest of your days at retirement. Let's make some assumptions to make the example flow a little better. So to begin with, let's say you own your home at retirement and you are the type of person who lives relatively frugally, only buying what you need, and you don't go on a holiday every year. You just do what you need to survive and you're quite comfortable in that space. Let's say you retire at the current retirement age in Australia, which is 67. And let's say you still enjoy the little things. So every now and then you get to spend a bit of money. To live this way, the estimated number that you would need each year per person in your household is $40,000. Let's assume that you live 5 years past the average life expectancy for your gender, which in Australia, it's 81 for men and 85 for women. This would mean at retirement, you would need $760,000 as a man and about $920,000 as a woman. Now that is a sizable amount of money that you need to save before retirement. And keep in mind that you are going to be, in this example, living a frugal and simple lifestyle. So if you really think about these numbers, they're going to be somewhat unreachable for some Australians due to the fact that many will never consider putting more money into their super than the mandatory 9.5%, which our government has mandated that employers already do. So if you're earning money, you should be being paid super at a minimum of 9.5%. And just as an indicator, if you were 20 years old and earning $100,000 a year all the way to retirement, the estimated value of that portfolio at retirement is roughly $720,000. And that's including investment over that period of time, not just the money being contributed in super each year. Now, according to the Google, the average annual income in Australia is $82,000. Now, I think it's fair to say most 20-year-olds aren't making that kind of money from age 20, let alone $100,000 a year. So realistically, even if you were able to achieve this massive feat from age 20 until the age of retirement, you would only end up with roughly the amount of money you need to live that frugal lifestyle. It's not going to be luxurious whatsoever. And a lot of other things have to go right to get there in the meantime. This may seem overwhelming, worrying, concerning, and something that may come up in your future as a difficult feat to achieve, which it will be. I think that Australians really need to get real in the fact that it's going to be a challenge for some people to retire and be able to live out their elderly years happily. For the purpose of today's video though, this is where salary sacrificing comes into play. By making the decision now to contribute some of your pre-tax earnings to your superannuation fund can see you save money in tax because it's taxed at a lower rate, as well as build up that fund early on so your investments grow over the course of your career, and when you retire, you ultimately have more money in your pocket. The rough number's $37,000, where it actually becomes more tax efficient to sacrifice some of your salary. And as you earn more, as your salary increases and becomes higher, it's something that if you have the option to do it, is probably going to be worthwhile at some point in your career. In a nutshell, salary sacrificing is you sacrificing some of your salary now to save for your retirement and your future. There are other benefits to doing this outside of saving for your future and your retirement. A big one is that some employers will match contributions made by you up to a certain limit. As a real world example, my employer who I currently work for will match every single dollar that I contribute to my super voluntarily outside of what they're withholding up to a maximum of $2,000. Meaning if I put $2,000 into my super fund voluntarily and tell them, they will also match that. So it's $4,000 instead of $2,000. It's free money from them, essentially for a great cause. Keeping in mind as well that that $2,000 that I sacrifice from my salary will bring down my taxable income for starters, and it will also mean that it's taxed at a lower rate than what it would be. Let's just say I earn $100,000 in a year. I don't. Let's say I was between two thresholds, let's say right now, currently at the time of recording this video, I was between the $90,000 and below threshold. If I sacrificed $2,000 and it brought my income down to $88,000 instead of $90,000, I would be paying less tax for starters, and I would only be paying 15% tax on the money that I contribute to my super fund. So it's taxed at a lower rate than what my income is taxed at. So if I don't need that money, it's going to be more beneficial because I'll pay less tax on it and it's going to a good cause. All employers are different in what they offer, but I highly encourage you to ask the relevant people within your company as to what options they have, because if you're someone who has a little bit of extra cash, it's probably going to be worthwhile to put it away if you don't have a better purpose to use it for now. There are, however, a few things you definitely need to consider before doing this, and the main thing is to determine how useful this money is for you now. Realistically, if you're investing in yourself to run a business and start up something that may make you money in the future, that money may be much more useful now to you than putting it away for retirement. If you're going to use your money to benefit you now to build a future, I wouldn't probably be salary sacrificing that money. Whereas if you were just going to piss it away on drinks on a Sunday night, it's something that you could consider and work into your budget so that at least it's going to a good cause. The other thing to consider is if you need that money to survive. Now, times are tough and not everyone has the option to be able to do this. So keep in mind that if you don't have the option to do this, it's not something you really should be doing now, because you should be utilizing that money to make sure that you can put food on the table and pay your bills. It's an obvious one, but it does need to be said. At the end of the day, the effectiveness of salary sacrificing depends entirely on your financial situation. But as the years go on, your financial situation will change. And now, hopefully with the knowledge that I've given you in this video, you will have a thought at the back of your mind when the day comes that you may be able to say to yourself, hey, maybe it's now something that I can do, and it's something that will still benefit me greatly in the future. Hopefully I've given you some type of indicator as to the questions you should be asking your employer, and also the things you should be thinking about between now and the next 40 years of your life while this scheme's in effect, because it will potentially do you wonders come retirement. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video today. I hope that it was insightful. If it was, please consider liking and subscribing, and don't forget to click on the next one because I'll see you there.